Jinbei is a traitor. I'm sorry. Jinbei is a traitor, and by the end of this video, I will convince you of this. And I will also convince you of how this will lead to the destruction of Fishman Island. But introductions first. I'm middleweight. I chose that name because I think that usually the truth doesn't lean to either side of extremes. Usually the truth is somewhere in the middle. Luffy is my favorite anime main character because I think he embodies that. He is a joyful pirate, a chaotic neutral character. And this heavily implies this theory. It implies a lot about this theory. I'm not very good at editing. This is probably my first YouTube video ever, so I may make some stumbles, and I'm pretty sure this is not going to be just amazing, all right? But I just wanted to bring this theory to you guys because I realized once I posted this theory on the 23rd of January on Twitter, just how controversial this theory actually is. And I had some self-reflection and realized, okay, I got some backlash for the theory, but I understand completely why. You wouldn't even really be able to understand this theory really if you don't understand real world history. Oda masks One Piece as a very, very goofy show. He masks it in a lot of laughs and fun and weirdness, but oftentimes he throws in some hints of serious in there, and oftentimes he throws in some connection to actual history, right? And in this case, I believe that it's Haitian history. I'm going to connect Jinbei being a traitor to Haitian history, and I'll show you why it's relevant. Let's get on to the theory. If this theory does come true, I just want everybody who gives this video a chance to like and subscribe. I will be revealing more mysteries of One Piece that you have not thought of before. Or maybe you haven't made the right connections, but I want to be there to help you make the right connections. Because some of this stuff is so intricate and it's hidden so well by Oda, sometimes fringe theories get seen as, weird or wonky or crazy. I even had, people call me crazy on Twitter, but it's completely understandable because you wouldn't really understand this theory unless you understood the direct events of the Haitian Revolution of 1794. So this is very important because there's a very important figure to the Haitian Revolution called Toussaint Louverture. He was our first leader within the Haitian Revolution, and I believe that his parallel is to Fisher Tiger. Why is this the case? If you research the Haitian Revolution and if you research Toussaint Louverture, you understand that he led the first successful slave revolution in the West. This parallels to Fisher Tiger because Fisher Tiger also led a successful slave revolution in One Piece. I want to connect this a little bit more. And I know it's not going to make sense now, but stay tuned. We know very well that the Fishman history is connected to Black history. For example, we know that Otehime's, or is it Otehime's mother, is parallel to Martin Luther King. She had a very similar ideal when it came to fighting racism and fighting hate with pacifism and love. Even their untimely demise was a direct parallel. Martin Luther King got assassinated for his beliefs, and the Queen of Fishman Island also got assassinated for her beliefs. So we know very well, in some instances, Oda does put real life characters in the story. So if Otehime is Martin Luther King's parallel, I wonder what was Fisher Tiger's. I don't think it's far-fetched, and I wouldn't blame you to say that Fisher Tiger's parallel is Malcolm X. I don't blame you at all. But I think there's an even deeper and a more direct parallel with Toussaint Louverture, a Haitian black revolutionary. I believe that Fisher Tiger's parallel is just much stronger to Toussaint because he was also a revolutionary. He was during the time of slavery. Malcolm X, although they share similar ideals, there's not a direct parallel because he was not in the direct times of slavery. Toussaint Louverture led a successful slave revolution of Haiti against French colonists. And Fisher Tiger was also a revolutionary who went against the treachery of slavery and racism in the One Piece world. Fisher Tiger was one of the main catalysts of the slave revolution of Marijoa, where he freed himself and went back to free the other slaves because he couldn't bear to see slavery in any form. In the very same sense, Toussaint Louverture had this very same line of thought. So the parallels go even further, because in Haitian history, when you look at Toussaint Louverture's demise, it's quite close, almost the exact same way that Fisher Tiger ended up dying. So in Fisher Tiger's case, in the One Piece story, he led Koala to her hometown because Fisher Tiger believed that racism of all forms don't make sense. So even if certain people like Arlong did not like the fact that Koala was a human and did not like the fact that Fisher Tiger went as far as taking her back home and freeing her from slavery and Marijoa, even though Fisher Tiger freed Koala and led her to her people because he believed that somehow maybe Koala may serve as a good example for humans to maybe diminish the racism in the One Piece world, to maybe improve the relations of fishmen and people. But ultimately, when Fisher Tiger got on the island, he was immediately ousted as a criminal. He was then surrounded by the Navy, and apparently the islanders of Koala's town were said to alert Fisher Tiger. No. I'm just gonna delete that part. So they were sent to alert the Navy about Fisher Tiger's arrival. Right? This is very, very interesting because this is the exact same thing that happened to Toussaint Louverture. He was sent a request for peaceful negotiation with the French army. He was promised that they would have peaceful negotiations about ending slavery in Haiti and their other colonies. But this was completely false. He actually was betrayed. As soon as he came to peacefully negotiate with no arms, no guns, and no ability to protect himself, they immediately arrested him, took him to trial in France, and he died shortly afterwards in the prison because of neglect. In the same sense, they almost killed Fisher Tiger. Alexa, volume 1. In the same sense, they also killed Fisher Tiger by betraying him under the guise of peaceful negotiation and peaceful relations with the humans. And then he ended up dying on his boat, refusing to live in a world where he tried to negotiate peace, but hate was returned towards him. So I hope that I have made it clear for you that Toussaint Louverture's parallel is directly Fisher Tiger. But something interesting is, if Fisher Tiger's parallel is to Toussaint Louverture and Haitian history and the island of Haiti, I wonder if Oda has any other parallels. And I realize there's another very clear parallel, and it's Arlong. Arlong was very resentful towards humans. He did not trust them at all, and he thought that Fisher Tiger's trust towards humans was naive. Ultimately, he was right. I believe that Arlong's parallel is Jean-Jacques Dessaline. He was a very trusted and passionate Haitian general in Toussaint Louverture's army. He was seen as Toussaint Louverture's right-hand man. Ultimately, after Toussaint Louverture was betrayed by the French, Dessaline grew very, very resentful towards the white colonists and white residents that were still in Haiti. In the very same way that Arlong felt very resentful to humans and went to Nami's village, Kokoyasi village, to terrorize the humans and make him feel better about himself. In the same sense, Dessaline did the very same thing. Dessaline did as best he can to drive white residents away from Haiti because he felt as if no matter if slavery was abolished or not in the Haitian colony, the ever-present fear that French colonists had towards black people and the ever-present racism that they had towards black and Haitian people will eventually lead to slavery once again. Arlong had this very same ideal. So they both chose the path of violence. They both chose to terrorize the people that once enslaved them, right? So if Arlong's parallel is to Jean-Jacques Dessaline, one of the most trusted generals in Toussaint's army, I also wondered, okay, there's a theme here, right? Okay, Fishman Island seems to be connected to black history in general, and it also seems to closely tie to Haitian history. And I also thought, maybe exactly Fishman Island is Haiti, or Haiti's parallel. We know that Oda does put references to real world events and real world places. For example, if you see Wano's direct parallel is to Japan. I also believe that Oda loves drawing parallels to islands such as Japan. And coincidentally, Haiti is an island. And coincidentally, in the real world, the pirate era, the era of Blackbeard, was in the Caribbean Sea. And in the Caribbean Sea is where Haiti resides. Haiti is one of the Caribbean islands within the Caribbean Sea. So the parallels of Haiti and Fishman Island and black history in general are too strong to not deny. So I thought once again, okay, so we have Fisher Tiger's parallel. We have Dessaline's parallel. So there's another very important fishman to the One Piece story, Jinbei. What is Jinbei's parallel? And I thought to myself, and I really researched thoroughly. I really did approach this with thorough research and integrity because this is a very sensitive subject. But upon my research, I realized that Toussaint Louverture was actually betrayed by one of his own most trusted generals. Not Dessaline, somebody completely different. Toussaint Louverture was betrayed by Henri Christophe, one of his most trusted generals. Henri Christophe felt as if he should have been the leader of the revolution. Henri Christophe had a meeting with the French in secret, and they promised him that if he got Louverture to come to the negotiation with them, he would become a leader. He would have a place of high authority in the Haitian French army. He then convinced Louverture that the French actually did want peaceful negotiation, and that led to Louverture lowering his guard, trusting his friend, and going to the French with no harm or no means of harm. But as soon as he arrived, of course, they betrayed him. So Henri Christophe betrayed Toussaint Louverture, right? Henri Christophe betrayed Toussaint Louverture for a high position of authority and for the promise that Haiti is no longer going to be a slave state. And of course, if you learn Haitian history, we know that the French army and Napoleon had no intention to actually keep this promise. This was tongue-in-cheek, to just cripple the Haitian revolution's leaders from the inside, fighting without fighting, per se. But Henri Christophe himself was betrayed because they had no intention of keeping this. But Henri Christophe did get a position of high authority. When you really consider this, I almost feared drawing this parallel to Jinbei. But when you really consider that after Fisher Tiger's demise, Jinbei somehow became a warlord, a high position of authority in the world government, right? Then you consider, okay, he became a warlord. The first thing he did was free Arlong. Okay. And Jinbei said his reasons were that he felt so strongly for Arlong and his friends that he couldn't stop them from terrorizing Kokoyasi village. That's interesting, right? Let's just put that aside. So he became a warlord, and the first thing he did was free Arlong and let Arlong terrorize humans. Okay, so this is what I'm proposing. I'm proposing that Jinbei's direct parallel is Henri Christophe, the Haitian general that betrayed the Haitian leader of the revolutionary army, Toussaint Louverture, right? Now, I know just about now, some of you guys are probably crying, or just about now, some of you guys are probably completely dismissing this, which I understand. If you do research Haitian history, I'll try to help you and have some links in the description as well. You will understand that this is valid. Research Toussaint Louverture, research Jean-Jacques Dessaline, and research who betrayed Toussaint Louverture, and research who is Henri Christophe and his motivations. I rest assured that Henri Christophe is indeed Jinbei. Now, okay, so now you're thinking this doesn't make any sense. Jinbei betrayed his own people, right? Then what? To what end? Jinbei believed that this would have improved Fishman Island situation, but it didn't. It didn't at all. I believe that Jinbei learned from the situation. I believe that after the fact, Jinbei did not trust humans whatsoever. I believe that after the fact, he didn't choose to sacrifice other people like Fisher Tiger anymore. I feel like after the fact, he became the self-sacrificial piece for his own people. He realized that no promises from any humans is going to improve the situation of Fishman. So what he is doing right now in the story, this is what I theorize, is that he has been using people of high authority in the One Piece world, such as the Yonko, to simply protect Fishman and Fishman Island and nobody else. Consider this. He had allegiances to Whitebeard, right? I believe that his only allegiance to Whitebeard was Whitebeard's name. Whitebeard's name protected Fishman Island. After Whitebeard died, he had allegiance to Big Mom. We know very well that Jinbei does not care about Big Mom at all. His only allegiance and reason for being with Big Mom is that Big Mom's name protected Fishman Island. Stay with me now. Okay. Now you're thinking, oh no, Luffy's different. He's actually in Luffy's crew. He's a second commander in Luffy's crew. There's no way. You can't compare Big Mom and Whitebeard to his relationship with Luffy. Yes, I can. Consider this. Jinbei only joined the Straw Hats just about the time when Luffy became a Yonko. Luffy being a Yonko adds credibility to his name, and thus adds credibility to Fishman Island being his territory. And Fishman Island is protected under Luffy's name. And I know what you're thinking, because it's a natural thought. You're like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Luffy and Jinbei are so close. Jinbei sacrificed so much for Luffy. Jinbei took a full-blown hit from Akainu. Jinbei was fighting Mihawk for Luffy. Jinbei saved Luffy. Jinbei even got Luffy to lost ship. How is this crazy guy, this random guy, saying that Jinbei is a traitor when you see all of Jinbei has done? I'm gonna propose you this. You don't have to believe me, but hear me out. Jinbei, from the very beginning, with everything that he has done with Luffy, has been for his own people. He did not take that hit from Akainu for Luffy. He took that hit from Akainu for his own people, for Fishman Island. Everything that he's done for Luffy thus far, and everything that he's done for every other Yonko thus far, has been in an effort to protect Fishman Island. Yes, I know right now these points are probably not connecting, or they are connecting to you and you're beginning to cry. I believe that Jinbei, within the next few chapters, will show his true colors. I believe that Jinbei will betray Luffy. Consider this, right? Consider this. Every Straw Hat has a character conflict within themselves. Every Straw Hat has a quirk or a weird thing about themselves. Every Straw Hat has, before they join the crew, every Straw Hat has had Luffy destroy the source of their conflict. Just think about it. With Nami, he destroyed Arlong Park. He destroyed the source of Nami's pain. He stopped Nami's betrayal, right? Now consider this. Then that means that Jinbei is not the first person to betray Luffy. Nami betrayed Luffy. Nami felt as if she needed to take upon herself to liberate her people from Arlong by any means necessary. It didn't mean if she had to steal from people. It didn't mean that it didn't matter if she had to double cross. I believe that Nami's direct betrayal is parallel to Jinbei's betrayal. Jinbei and Nami are connected. Their stories are connected through Arlong. I believe that Jinbei will have this very similar character arc. Jinbei has taken it upon himself to not rely on others, to jump from Yonko to Yonko to Yonko to protect Fishman Island, and he is ready to double cross and betray Luffy at any point. Listen, I don't believe this makes Jinbei dishonorable. Some people may not like this theory because they may be thinking that I'm diminishing Jinbei's character. They may be thinking, oh, damn, the whole fun-loving, amazing, honorable Jinbei is no longer. I don't believe that. I believe for a very long time, people have been highly underrating Jinbei's contribution to the story. People write him off as just this, simple, loyal, honorable guy, nice guy. But I don't believe that his betrayal gets rid of that. I believe that it adds a level of intricacy to his actual character. I believe it adds a level of complexity that he deserves. He is one of the most important figures in the One Piece story because he is the most highlighted fishman. The fishman story, the theme of racism in One Piece, the theme of slavery in One Piece, as well as the theme of freedom of One Piece are huge themes. Why would it be that Jinbei is just this simple, fun-loving, honorable character? That's not the case. I believe that Jinbei is doing every single thing he can for his own people. I believe that Jinbei's been taking every single pain for his own people. I believe he's using himself as a self-sacrificial pawn. And I believe that he will betray Luffy when it's time to betray Luffy. But hear me out. I don't believe that Luffy will lose himself at all. If you recall, when Nami betrayed Luffy, Luffy did not want to hear anything. Luffy did not want to hear a single peep about her backstory, her motivations, her schemes, what's this and what's that. Luffy fights hate and oppression by destroying it at the source. Luffy is not a hero. He has highlighted that very much. Luffy will just destroy. He's the chaotic neutral, the chaotic good. If you tell me the source of your suffering, I don't need to hear who you are, your backstory, your motivations. I will destroy it. Simply from the fact that you suffer. I don't need to know why you betrayed me. I don't believe that Jinbei will be this just traitor and that's the end of his character. I believe that Luffy is going to take on Jinbei's pain and completely destroy it at the source. I believe this is the reason why Fishman Island will be destroyed. In the very same way that Arlong Park was destroyed. Luffy completely destroyed Arlong Park because Arlong Park was the source of Nami's pain. He destroyed the room filled with all of Nami's maps, all of Nami's schemes, all of Nami's plans, because to Luffy, sorry, my camera died. I'm still getting used to this. But as I said, Luffy does not care about any of that. Irrespective of gender, irrespective of sex, irrespective of ideology, Luffy's main thing is if you stand in the way of freedom, as the warrior of liberation, it doesn't matter what your past is. Luffy does not believe in past and backstories. That's why he falls asleep every time somebody tries to tell him. I don't care about your motivations. I don't care at all. If you stand in my way, if you stand in the way of liberation, I'm going to destroy the source of that. That's why Luffy is gonna completely destroy Fishman Island. You know, according to that to the premonition that the fish woman had. I forgot her name. But that's why Luffy's gonna destroy Fishman Island, because he destroyed Arlong Park in the very same way. We see this theme with Luffy already. In Sanji's case with the Baratie, he damn near destroyed the Baratie. In Robin's case with Enies Lobby, he destroyed Enies Lobby. He wreaked havoc. So I think that this is going to be very, very interesting, because this is going to kind of close Jinbei's character arc in a way. Every single Straw Hat has to have the source of their pain eliminated by Luffy before they become a true Straw Hat. I don't believe that Jinbei will just end up as this traitor. I do believe Jinbei at the end of the story is going to end up as a Straw Hat, but only after he betrays Luffy, and only after Luffy responds by betraying Fishman Island. I also believe that he's going to get every fishman on the Noah before he does this. And consequently, this will be him, Joy Boy, coming back and fulfilling the promise of getting the fishmen out of Fishman Island and onto the surface. So, I know this theory is kind of crazy. I know this theory is very, very left field. But you have to understand this. Fringe and left field theories are the best theories because Oda himself is fringe and left field. We can't marginalize theories like that because nobody else in the community has thought of it. I don't even think that it's the case that people are blinded when they don't consider this theory. Because as I said before, you can only understand this theory if you understand the Haitian Revolution. Because One Piece is tied to real world history. This is very near and dear to my heart because I'm Haitian. I love it that Oda is telling my history. I love it that One Piece as a whole is telling our history and the history of the whole world. And I think this is very, very, very essential, especially we're in February and this is Black History Month. I believe that Oda intends to tell a very intricate and very complex story about racism, about slavery, about revolution, and how to combat it. And I believe that Luffy will answer this in the right way. Because I consider this quote from one of my favorite philosophers, a Chinese philosopher named Lao Tzu. He said that virtue that is conscious of itself is not true virtue. And virtue that is not conscious of itself is true virtue. The reason why Luffy is not virtuous forcefully is because that wouldn't be true virtue. Luffy is not a hero, simply the fact that heroes create villains, thus perpetuating the cycle of hatred. Luffy intends to find the middle way. That's why Luffy is the best main character in fiction history. And that's why One Piece is the greatest story ever told. And remember, the next time you say Jinbei is not Jinbei. Jinbei is Haitian. It's Jinbei. Okay? Thank you for tuning in. If this theory comes true, and I'm very, very confident it will, all I ask for you, it doesn't matter if you're a detractor, it doesn't matter if you disagree. All I ask for you is like and subscribe. You know, I'll be bringing crazier theories than this. And remember, the One Piece is real.